reported today in The Verge. Europe's Green Deal on climate change failed its first test. In a stunning disappointment to environmentalists, a bid to cut the European Union's greenhouse gas emissions to nearly zero by 2050 flopped at a key summit in Brussels. Today's decision was the first test of whether the newly proposed European Green Deal, which promises to totally overhaul the continent's economy, might turn into real action on climate change. Just one country, Poland, was the holdout on the deal. The outcome in Brussels today signals a tough road ahead to secure commitments on climate action not only from European nations, but from other big polluters as well. New President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen just released the EU's Green Deal on December 11, a sweeping package of policy proposals aimed at drastically reducing emissions by 2050. Her announcement followed the November declaration by the European Parliament of a climate emergency, a phrase that activists with Greenpeace hung from the building where the Council met in Brussels. Endorsement of the 2050 goal by the European Council today was supposed to set the stage for a green transformation in Europe and encourage changes across other parts of the world. If the goal had passed, Europe would have become the biggest economic bloc yet to set a goal of becoming carbon neutral by 2050, meaning it would have nearly eliminated planet-heating pollution from burning fossil fuels and drawn down any remaining carbon it releases. That's a target necessary to save lives and avoid the most catastrophic effects of climate change, according to scientists on the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. The United Nations Climate Conference wraps up in Madrid on December 13, where activists and delegates are pushing countries to up their commitments to reducing carbon emissions under the Paris Climate Accord. The failure to come to an agreement would be a traumatic signal, said Neil Makarov, European policy advisor for the International Climate Action Network, in an interview before the decision. If Europe's industrialized countries aren't willing to make dramatic changes to slow down climate change, why should other countries? The Council's decision shows discord on climate action within the continent too. The Council determines the overarching direction and political priorities of the European Union. We should be very careful that the Green Deal is not already outdated the day after it has been printed, said Makarov. A previous effort to get the EU to commit to net zero emissions by the mid-century was blocked by Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic in June. The effort was derailed again this week by arguments over whether to lean on nuclear energy as an alternative to fossil fuels. Countries that relied more on coal also wanted a longer timeline. For more on this story, visit the news article link.